In one great game versus New Zealand, Caitlin Clark knocked down every narrative her haters created over 8 months. Can't defend 2 steals that turn into fast break points, just throws threes, leads team in efficiency, doesn't help others, record-breaking assists across tournament. Angel Reese watched from the bench, and head coach Cara Lawson was missing in action, so nobody knows where she was. Are you ready? Because Caitlin completely silenced her critics during that game against New Zealand. This is the full breakdown of how Clark crushed every justification, stat by stat. Comment below who Team USA is.
Or Team USA. Instead, if they were starting lineup, every single one of these games, Caitlin Clark gets her first start here in San Juan. A solid starting lineup right there. 3 vets, 2 newbies to the senior squad.
Picture this. Caitlin Clark makes her Team USA debut after 8 months off with the virus. With it, she does what? She goes out and helps blow New Zealand off the floor by 55 points. End of story. That's the complete tale. Except it actually isn't, because the intricacies of how that happened tell you a lot more than simply the final score.
Give me your first impression of the game.
I thought it was good. I thought we started off a little slow. I thought our second unit came in, it was really good, and then I thought overall in the second half we were pretty good.
We want to start the game. Great start by New Zealand.
Caitlin Clark tries again. This time it's good.
Now look, the criticism coming into this game was always going to be there. Clark already went off against Senegal, Puerto Rico, and Italy in the first 3 games of this qualification tournament, and many were still finding reasons to distrust her. Too rusty, still sore, needs to be eased in. That's the thing about critics. They don't adjust their takes based on what's actually happening. They merely find a new perspective. So the New Zealand game was always going to be another test they'd throw at her. And she passed it in the most straightforward way conceivable.
Billings, looking for space, tries to create it. Billings still gets a hand on it. Now they're on the run, a 2-on-2 opportunity. Monique Billings loses the ball, stays with it, and kisses it off the glass.
Here's the thing about how Clark was being used before Nate Tibbetts took over the coaching duties. She was coming off the bench, receiving limited touches, and working inside a system that looked more concerned on making sure everyone got their moments than on really running up the score. That changed versus New Zealand. Tibbetts inserted Clark in the starting 5, and straight away the offense operated differently. More pace, greater spacing, and the ball was finding the correct hands at the right moment.
And maybe I don't know, but some of those players are maybe fighting for a spot for the World Cup, because maybe this is not the team that we are going to see at the World Cup, who knows? And so it's a chance for the rookies, for example. There are 6 rookies in this USA team. They're here to show themselves and prove.
Clark ended with 14 points and 6 assists in 23 minutes. And that assist number lead the whole team. But here's the section that doesn't get nearly enough attention. She played the most minutes on the whole roster that game. Think about what that means. Tibbetts had a full bench available, a 55-point advantage at various moments in the game, and he kept sending Clark back out there. You don't do it if you're babying someone. You don't do it if you think they're vulnerable or still establishing their footing. You do that because you trust them and because the offense works better when they're on the court. The final score was 101-46. And yeah, New Zealand isn't one of the top teams in the world, but a 55-point win in international basketball is still a 55-point win. You have to truly execute for 4 quarters to get there. And Team USA did precisely that, with Clark leading the offense from the opening. Her efficiency rating for the game came in at 18, which was the highest on the entire team, and not just by a bit. That number pulls in everything: points, assists, rebounds, steals, and weights them together. So when Clark picked off a steal near half court in the second half and turned it into a fast break layup, that's in there. When she hit a mid-range jumper, that's in there. When she found an open teammate for an easy basket, that's in there, too. The 18 tells the complete story of the game in one number. And nobody on the roster touched it.
Even just holding the ball so they can see it, they steal it just like that. If they see the ball, they can get their hands on it.
So the concept that Clark ought to be protected, managed gently, progressively worked back into a wider role. Tibbetts basically looked at the notion and ignored it completely. He gave her the start, gave her the most minutes, and let her run. And the consequence was the most efficient individual performance on the team and a 55-point blowout. That's not a coincidence. That's just what happens when you actually let Caitlin Clark play basketball.
Returning back since July, how's your body feeling? You got a lot of rhythm.
Feel good. Obviously, 5 games in 7 days is a true test and see where my body's at, but so far I feel really good.
The New Zealand game wasn't merely a good performance. It was Clark counting off every single critique her critics have thrown at her one by one in real time. Let's talk about defense first, because this one is brought up repeatedly. The knock has always been that Clark is a liability on that end. That teams can just attack her, and she'll fold. So what happened versus New Zealand? 2 thefts, and both of them turned directly into fast break points. Not just flicking the ball away and watching it go out of bounds, properly reading the passing lane, leaping the route, and getting out in transition.
Still moving as she puts it out, or shoots the ball up. On the other end, Kiki Irifin, great.
That's anticipation. That's effort. And that's a player that knows what she's doing defensively. And when you zoom out throughout all 4 games in this qualifying tournament, Clark is top 5 on the whole Team USA team in thefts. Top 5. That's not a defensive liability. That's a guard who's locked in and competing on both ends.
For this New Zealand team with 6 points to go along with 3 boards. Kelsey Plum, look at that steal. Hands it up to Caitlin Clark and Caitlin.
Now, let's talk about the 3-point situation, because people act like all Clark does is stand at half court and hurl jumpers. She leads Team USA in scoring over the whole qualifying competition. And here's the bit that smashes that narrative utterly. Most of her points are coming from within the arc. She's attacking the paint, getting into the lane, and completing. She's also leading the team in free throws, and you don't get to the free throw line by standing around on the perimeter. You get there by driving, drawing contact, and putting pressure on the defense. That's an aggressive, physical game, not a spot-up shooter doing one thing.
Caitlin Clark on the wing. Look at that, creating her own.
So, then there's the loudness shooter argument, right? The concept that she takes a lot of shots but isn't truly very efficient. Clark leads Team USA in shooting percent during this full tournament. She's not just taking the most shots, she's making them at the highest rate on the roster.
USA cleans up the glass as they slow it down, coming back for their half-court set. Looking for Clark.
Angel Reese is being so good, cleaning the glass, that I'm guessing that she.
She's also leading the team in assists, which means she's finding open teammates when the defense collapses on her, and those are easy baskets for everyone else. That's not a volume shooter padding stats. That's a player making her team better every single time she.
Playing at a national level, although first time, how has it been so far with the fans here in Puerto Rico?
It's been great. I thought our game, especially versus Puerto Rico at 8 p.m., was a really fun one for us. The fans have been great. Fans that have come from America have been awesome. So anytime you get to put this jersey on, I think it's a really fun thing. You take a lot of pride in it.
And then there's the plus-minus figure, which honestly is the one that stops you in your tracks. Clark doesn't only lead Team USA in plus-minus. She leads every single player on every single squad across every single country in the entire FIA 2026 qualifying competition. Every country. That means while Caitlin Clark is on the floor, her team is outscoring the opposition by a bigger margin than any other player in the whole event. Not just in the USA lineup, in the whole field. That figure basically ends the conversation about whether she belongs at this level.
Last game on Wednesday against Spain. What are the expectations for now?
Yeah, I mean, I expect it to probably be our hardest game since we've been here. They're obviously a very good team, so I feel like getting off to a good start. We kind of struggled in that area a couple games, and then we kind of did today. So I think getting off to a really good start versus them will be a big key for us, but have a day in between the prep, so we'll be ready.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you.
And all of this is happening after 8 months off the floor with an injury. And while she was actively fighting against a flu during the New Zealand game, she remarked after the game that her body has been feeling extremely fantastic. And look, the numbers are right there supporting that up. You can't fabricate a plus-minus that leads the entire tournament field. You can't fake leading your team in scoring, assists, shooting percentage, and steals all at once while sick and rusty.
Nate Tibbetts is a better coach than Kara Lawson. Kara Lawson wasn't present, which I thought was odd.